In this video, I want to share with you 4 tips to analyzing your user. As a technical writer, UX writer, doesn't matter who you are, it's important to know exactly who you are writing for. So I have 4 questions that you will ask yourself that will make it a lot easier when it comes to creating the content, when you're actually writing the content that you are assigned to do. So the first thing is, why do they need your content? And the answer is almost always they need help with something, all right? Chances are they were using a website, an app, a product, or something that is just not intuitive. So they need like more context, more information about how something works or how to use something, get a specific task done. So they really just need your help. And a good way to get a little bit deeper into that is, what is their pain point? What are they frustrated with right now, and how can I address it? What is keeping them from doing what they need to get done from getting done? So those are some types of questions that you can ask to help you with creating the content specifically for your user. The second tip is, what exactly do they need help with? And there's usually 3 different categories that they need help with something. So one point might be that they're having trouble fixing an issue or fixing an error. So sometimes you may need to create some kind of troubleshooting guide, or maybe create an error message, confirmation message that's a little bit more helpful when the user is having problems, right? The second thing is, they just need some more guidance, some instructions on how to complete a specific task or get from point A to point B. So that lets you know as a writer that I need to write some very specific instructions, some steps that encourages them to move on to the next field or the next step, or click the next button, whatever it may be. And the third thing is usually for informational purposes. Maybe they are just looking for very specific information, or maybe they don't understand something, so they just need like the background information about how something works, or why is a new feature being developed, or something that's really like informational, contextual, giving some background information. So those are usually like 3 categories when you're asking what exactly do they need help with. The third thing you can ask yourself is, how knowledgeable is this particular user? And I like to use the example of how technically savvy are they. So if they're using like a form to fill out, let's say to get a 401k sign up for a 401k. The person who is doing that themselves, the individual person, they may not be as knowledgeable on their own as to how to set up a 401k. But if it's a corporate client who is used to setting up 401ks and retirement plans for their employees, they might have more knowledge and more context, more background about it. So you may not need to like break things down for them as you would for the individual person who needs a lot more guidance. So it's important to know like, how technically savvy are they, or how familiar are they with the app, the website, the product, whatever it is that you're writing for. And then the last tip I have for you is, how will they consume the content, or where will they consume the content? So if they are using their phone and you're writing for an app, you know that you would need to be a little bit more short and sweet and direct to the point, because there's only so much space that you have on the screen, and people don't like to scroll and they don't want to see a bunch of text when they're on their mobile devices. So that gives you some clues as to how to structure your content. If someone is going to the troubleshooting area of a website, then you know that you should structure your content in a way that's focused on fixing that one particular issue. Or if they just want like release notes or background information about something, then you know how to structure that particular content. Or if you happen to be assigned to working on a video, instructional video, then you know that you need to structure your content so that it matches the visuals of the video, right? So knowing like how they're going to use the content can also give you a lot of clues as to how to craft your content. So just to recap, you want to figure out why do they need your content first of all, and like we said, there's a pain point there, they need help with something. Number two, what do they need help with? Do they need information? Do they need instructions? Do they need to fix something? Number three is, are they familiar with the product or the software? Are they familiar, right? How much knowledge do they have? Because that helps you with jargon and familiar terms, industry terms. It helps you to figure out whether you could use that or not. And then the last one is how or where they will actually consume the content. So those are my 4 tips for you. I hope that is helpful when it comes to creating your technical content.